So, okay. Um, I'm, I'm gonna go ahead and finally do, you know, working out with peers, give knowledge, give gain wisdom from them, person to another, has to be, share a gym, get a gym, you know, um, but need to continue to, so now record this, get share, get it live, get it active. Um, it's taken a lot to really do this, and be about it, and in the right way at that, in the right way at that. I recently did a book called Becoming by Michelle Obama, um, which kind of triggered me wanting to finally come. Not like that, but because I've been in there's a being for before the come, right? So you have to be before it comes, right? Though you are what you attract, and technically you attract your energy, who you are, your essence, what you put out there. Uh, I'm gonna start off with a poem, and the poem is a poem I wrote. Like well, look at this as like a prologue, I guess. So from crystal balls to stained glass halls, doves in the back, but never in a sack. Alice in Wonderland, wondering humans, from red eyes to red seas, cold to touch, too hot to speak. I'm the observer I seek, like a lion's roar and a thunderous clap. I've had residue on me, sap, sap, sap. 'Cause I'm a tree, but who's watering me? Seeds of hope, seeds of flesh, almost like a woman's bosom. Oh, I really mean breasts. Sight unheard becomes known. In this today, I let my old self go. The word was not, how would you say, written on paper, at least for my own life. Um, but it's definitely been encoded in my DNA. I had someone tell me once before, they said it's almost like you're evangelistic by nature. So I'm gonna go ahead and preface that by saying I'm a most likely 9 times out of 10, my God gonna pop up. The creator, the one, the true, the living king, right? And I could go deeper into that, but I'm testing the mic today. And I'm gonna release this. I'm gonna release it the way it is, but I'm testing the mic today. Cause I finally gotta do it. I finally gotta be before the comic, right? And so the Bible is like the Bible like breathes in my bloodstream, if you will. The spirit speaks in my cells. We can be out in public and I'll randomly just know what it is we got going on, in a way that while we're conversing, even within seconds, it's like a gift. As a gift is the spirit in me. And this has been me in since I was a child for real. Like I've always been, but now it's time to and stand on there. This isn't like a hold on, how do I say this? This is like a intensive mic, but I'm gonna release this. It is unedited, unfiltered on the YouTube page. By the way, I'm on my patio. Got the fan going. So you're gonna most likely hear some nature. My dog and I is somewhere doing what she do. Um, but all in all, I want to be that person you feel that you can relate to. I'm your brother. I'm your best friend. I'm your grandfather. I'm your daddy. Okay. And somebody's son. I want to talk to you like a lover. I'm about to tell you what what I've done to tap in, to tap out of where I was, to tap into where I am and where again I would like to be. It's so much easier to just be rather than forcing, but it's not for you. And then when the forcing is not for you, you find yourself in situations where you either compromise who you are, or either you buckle down and say, no, I'm not gonna fall for this and fall for that, regardless. But again, you have to just be, right? So I'm gonna rant, but I'm gonna make sure I bring my points back. I'll make this, quick and long, if you will. Quick and long, quick and long. Um, but again, like I'm scripture and science, both Genesis and equation. I am the I am. And I say I am the I am in a way that found himself through me, a mirror of God, wrapped in clay. Even the Bible says he is the potter and we are the clay. So I'm constantly being molded just like everybody else, right? There's projects and things I've done, but even with the projects and things I've done, I've learned still the be before the coming, which is why I'm finally saying I'm going to do with us. The wonder I've done, podcasting, shows, and mic check 1, 2, 1, 3s. I would consider myself to be an artist because I really am. I do more than just talk or be a light, right? So I'm keeping myself on track here because I had to make bullet points this time around to kind of know how I want to guide what I'm talking about, right? Because again, this has been taking some days to actually sit and record this. I found myself that I'm getting ready to how much opposition and then stagnation tried to attack so much even more. Like a feedback loop from hell. Shout out to him. Um, I don't, what's, oh, I've read the book, but I haven't finished it. The subtle art of not giving, you know, I know his name's also with the M, but the book is orange. The book is orange. It's orange color background. Um, but you're listening to a person where I know what dominion truly is, and I've learned to truly take control of my mind. And if I can show you those tools, those tips, the ways, the know-hows, how to be a greater being, not a human being, but a being, an entity, a spirit, moving through this planet, this life, And let me help you in some way. I'm like the CIA because I've been in death and I've been in life, and I can tell you how to do both. The only one is better than the other. And one thing about it is when I speak, the whole universe is listening. I've always known this. Galaxies remember. You feel me? Give you this analogy here. It's like, okay, picture this. If had a round table right now and it was Kim set up, it would be King David, and then I would go out and get Jesus and then pick up Marcus Aurelius and then pick up Malcolm X and come back to the round table and let y'all in on the conversation. That's what's really, that's basically what's happening right now. I'm letting y'all in on the conversation that's happening at the round table. I'm not gonna say I'm a fly on the wall, but I'm here. I had to get something to drink. Sorry, I'm back. So that's what's happening like that. That's what's happening right now. That's what y'all are listening to. Y'all are listening to an intake of a round table right now. About telling y'all, hey, this is my experience. Maybe you can share. Maybe it can inspire. You know, um, it's like the philosopher. I'm not saying it's like I'm like a philosopher, prophet, revolutionary, Islamist, all here communion within the bones in my being. And so we're gonna talk about being, well, being, and bones. Yeah. And the way I've discovered all three of these to where we are here right now. This isn't gonna be the first or the last time y'all ever hear from him. You know, at least I can promise twice a month with much on the way already. Again, I've been planning this moment, but a lot has been happening since before we got here. I say we, I mean us, the collective, the congregation, you know, the team. But one thing that I have learned and have centered on is that the mind is the cathedral, a circuit board, if you will. And so the temple, which is the body, is built in synapses and sanctuaries. Of course, it talks about your members. And so one thing that I have realized is that with that understanding, fear hides in like the back alley. It hides in the pews. It hides in friends. It hides in family. It hides in experiences. It hides in beliefs. It hides in mental constructs of institutions within yourself from external things. that become internal take on us. So then the body now is holding up it's like a storage now. And different keys unlike different things, but you have to know what your storage currently holds. And this is where fear will go into these places, your mind, your situations, how you experience life. But the one thing that overcomes fear is faith, which is why we are here now testing the mic and then actually doing this, right? Faith preaches through neurons. I've learned the future isn't tomorrow. The future is now, which means faith, therefore, in itself, faith in the Creator, faith in self, love of the Creator, love in self, joy in all, and for all. Gotta have joy for all. Gotta have joy for all. These three things are three things that I have come to understand in part that with faith, I can do anything, but I have to believe in the plan. I have to believe in me and the thing that I want, the thing I know that I can have, the thing I see that I can have. Because if I see it, that means it's capable, that means it's attainable, and I can have it. Point blank period, right? So I have to understand that everything that I'm doing in this moment is the future. The future isn't tomorrow. The future is now. Is this moment right here, right now. Doing future deeds today in the know. And I don't mean K-N-O-W, but I mean K-N-O-W-E, the E is silent. K-N-O-W-E is no, same as no, but you landed a little softer. But no, K-N-O-W-E, means small hilltop. When I was writing one day and I put an E next to it, I immediately stopped. I was like, I know this is wrong. I knew the next word and it didn't start with an E. I went in and immediately did research. Added another thing. I said, okay, started to understand more, started to learn, started to figure out how does a hilltop affect my faith? Why am I the hilltop? Which and therefore I am, because before I can speak to a mountain, I got to speak to myself first. Creation doesn't wait for us to be ready though. Creation just is. It exists. It doesn't. Creation is energy. Therefore, energy is creation. Which means energy can never be denied, never be denied. Come on now, energy can never be denied, but energy can never be destroyed or created. It can only be transmuted, transfigured, transfer, but it cannot be destroyed. And it can't be denied. Come on now. And it can't be denied. So with that in mind, right, with understanding this, we have to be us. Creation is waiting for us to be us, to just be. Tell it what we want, not just what I know is possible, but tell it what I want. Which means in order to do that, I have to be disciplined. I have to be real. I have to be truth. I have to be justice. I have to be valor. I have to be the God I was designed to be. Be the man the world was waiting on but didn't know how to name, didn't know how to receive. Every person that is famous, for instance, right? Just dumb it down. Every person that's famous, they saw themselves as famous. They knew they were famous. They just beed the famous person that they always knew they were. Kanye West, prime example, bro. prime example, not easiest person to think of, right? But it's facts. He just be, right? He was the artist that he knew he was at that time with anybody, right? I can go down and listen to this, but we're not doing that. This isn't the time. What is happening right now is I'm just testing the mic. With plan on the side, right? With the plan on the side. Come on now, with the plan on the side. And so I had to learn to just be in every moment, in every second of the day. No performance. Because who am I performing for? My performance doesn't benefit anybody unless it comes with a check. Shout out to being an actor, an actress, a play runner, stage runner, all of the art things like that that deal with any television. Even with podcasting, you got to record, right? Footage, videographer. Let's not get too far off topic. But with all of these things, still you just have to be. And I got tired of being mediocre. My own mediocrity became as a form of inadequacy, and I didn't like that. Because me being mediocre doesn't benefit anybody. How can I be a humanitarian, but I'm not trying to help people in the best way that I know how and what the world needs now and what I've always been good at, talented in, anointed in, graced in, purposeful in, loving in. There's not a soul on this planet that cannot say in some way, shape, form, or fashion I have inspired them with something that has came out of my mouth. And I do mean with the words, with some form of knowledge, wisdom, understanding, making the unknown known, connecting the dots. Been like air. Because to enlighten someone literally is to decrystallize their prefrontal cortex. So you will literally feel a warm sensation in the middle of your head, even when you're feeling enlightened. Not just the age of Renaissance or the age of enlightenment. I got tired of being mediocre. I got tired of the mediocrity. And just an FYI, when I wrote the word mediocrity in my notes, when I was again, I knew what I wanted to come on today and say not just today, but again, I've had this for a while, but a lot has been happening, and I finally said, you know what? I just stop the BS, stop blaming everything that's been happening. Just do it, just be, right? Mercy's on the way. Anyway, um, when I wrote this down for the very first time, I've never said the word mediocrity in my life until recently. And so when I finally said it, I wrote it down on a piece of paper first. And I don't know about you, but I have moments still now where I forget how to pronounce a word or how to write a word down correctly, especially if it's more than 8 letters. Come on now. So I am smarter than a fifth grade anyway. But I wrote it down for the first time and I was happy that I got it right. I even went and was like, oh wow, you got it right. Come on, give myself a pat on the back, right? Because little things like that, let's know. Come on now, you smart, you still got it. Come on now. Anyway, teacher wasn't always right. Come on now. Anyway, but I got tired of letting brilliance sit in the back rows of my potential. So I called my name out loud and my soul answered, present. I've had moments where I physically have felt my mind, my body, my soul, my spirit, the spirit and the mind, the body and the soul, understand the two differences. The two are four, the four are one. Um, When I said that right there, I wanted to start going off into that, but I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I was going to break that down. But just know the 204 and the 401. Um, okay. So anyway, one thing that I learned with that process of having my body go through that, I've also learned how to physically stop myself from thinking, physically just shut the mind down, not even in a meditation moment, but force myself in a moment to physically ground my body and force my mind to stop and shut off and immediately start dissecting all the thoughts I immediately have for at least the next hour. And by doing this, it creates such a sense of productivity and productiveness. And it's almost like an alpha state of thinking now immediately goes into play because I start either focusing on what I should be doing or what I would rather be doing in that moment and block out every thought that does not align with that. So that way, in that moment, I immediately become what I wanted to, again, be, what I wanted to assume in that moment, who I wanted to portray, who I wanted to be, how I wanted to think, how I wanted to move, how I wanted to function immediately in that moment, and didn't let nothing stop me, no matter who was around, what was around, what was going on. And this is a trick I learned recently. And I'm in my 20s. So to just learn that now, I feel okay. If I would have learned this sooner, I probably would not even be. I could be further, but I could not be. Again, know thyself and show thyself true. Shakespeare. So, no, know thyself and to thine own self be true. William Shakespeare. Thank you, everybody. So, with realizing that I was able to calm myself in such a way that I was finally able to physically be present in all the ways a present stance can be, I said, okay, let's go to work now. And I started doing it more often. So now the body, the flesh, becomes, like I said, a storage container, not just in the mind, but it becomes my archive. It remembers every storm, every resurrection, every death, every burial, every hurt, every happiness, every pain, every passion, every purpose, every love, every light, every way I was heard, every way I was seen, every way I was loved. Because every human, no matter who you are, you're wired for some form of connection. Connection involves three things: to be heard, to be seen, and to be loved. We're not negotiating it. That's the facts. Right? But the body can be a cage or it can be a compass. And I said to myself, I want to be my own compass. Within reason, I can do it on my own. But I knew that my body can be a compass. One thing with being a compass is that it always is going to due north, which means I'm going to always point back to God every time I breathe: right, left, up, down, adjacent, horizontal, vertical. And not just breathing God if I am a God, which is what even Jesus had said. Though, yes, in the circumstance he was talking to, we're not getting into that. The point is, we are gods, and if I am a God, then therefore what that means is I don't just breathe in God, but I have to breathe in my own divinity, the divinity that I know I am. Simple as that, the divinity that I know I am. God body, God breath, God sight, God hearing, all of those things. We can get into that too. But again, I have to realize I have to go back to God, not the drawing board, but go back to God, go back to source, go back to the creator. I found a hack, not a trick, but a hack or a sacred practice. This in part was a way to stop the over-sensory noise, the over-analytical, the overthinking. They say, I believe humans think we're over 5,000 thoughts a day. So if you can have even 30 seconds of stopping your mind and automatically enacting the sense of power, sense of being, come on now. And by doing so, you get yourself back to the now, the present. I like to take cold plunges, for instance. Well, not for instance, but I do take cold plunges at times. And if not a cold plunge, I'll go in my backyard and based on the season, I'll get inside the pool while it's freezing cold. And I'm a little over 6 feet. The pool is a little over 6 feet itself. And so when doing that, I understand the benefits that come from that. Not because I'm just trying to live like a Neanderthal and just go doing these wilder than life things. Because when I've told people this, people have been like, why would you do that? What is the benefit of that? What's the reason? What's the point? At first did start out as a game, I'm not gonna lie. At first did start out because people were surprised I can do it. But this one thing, when figure out what to talk about, it pulled back up to my remembrance. It was still the benefit that came from it either way. The benefit from either being seen, and then the benefit from understanding that after I get done working out, I can go jump in this pool for about 5 minutes because it's already freezing cold. So what's the need of adding ice? Or I take a cold ice bath. This means it's the same thing in life. You're going to go through cold moments, but the benefit that you get when you're warm again because the body has blood in it, right? The minute you get some oxygen back in your body, oxygen in your situation, oxygen in your mind, you're able to have presence, well, really have purpose over presence. Yeah, you're really able to have purpose over presence because that's what becomes more important. But you have to get yourself present to understand what the purpose is in the present moment, especially if you're not the being you want to be before becoming. And so this is similar to what also athletes do as well in ice baths. I learned from science, stillness, constriction, release, recovery. The one good part that I found to be the most really intriguing is that ice heals inflammation. It also clears waste, it resets muscle. Now, if you take that to the spiritual terms of what I'm saying, it baptizes the temple. Altogether, when you get baptized, you're washing away the old and the new is coming. The newness is forming, right? Same thing when you take a bath, you're washing off your day. You're washing off the energy of what was to receive more, right? And so the coldness becomes the classroom. The freeze becomes the fire. And it is not the meeting point of miracle and molecule being different from each other, but it is the meeting point of miracles and molecule being one atom, one cell. And every time I came out the water, no matter the physical water, mental water, spiritual water, I feel a sense of being reborn, refreshed, not even renewed, but restored. Because everything serves as the flame. And so one thing you have to do is command the ship. Phase one is faith to being before the current. Phase one is faith. Or I should have told you where I'm giving y'all this in phases. So phase two now is motion, which is discipline. Discipline equals motion. Motion equals life. And the one thing I said to myself was, why lack in any way when divinity flows through every bone in my body? I've been bullshitting on my greatness, half-stepping destiny like it owed me time. But time is me. When I read Ezekiel the other day, everything clicked, like a Lego snapping into purpose. The bones stood up, and I heard God say, live. Now, you can take this how you want, but all of me said the words, lived. God asked the prophet Ezekiel, son of man, do you say these bones can live? You'll find that in Ezekiel 37, Ezekiel 36. And so when reading that, everything clicked for me. One thing that I learned is that creation was always chosen. There was always a plan, and God's at the end of it, waiting on me to catch up. You know what I mean? To catch us, the world. Because after this, it's like I'm putting the world on my back, but you feel what I'm saying, but give me my space. I'm used to the paparazzi. Please don't try me. I'm just saying facts, so it's facts. But I love a life of seclusion. But I got tired of sitting on a star. When I'm about to go land on Mars. That was a little cheesy, but y'all get the point. You get the gist. You get the gist. And now I see the light bulb never went off. It stayed on, flickering, waiting for me to stop performing and just be the light. Be the lighthouse for the world. Be the watchman on the wall. So now I understand. Man, a star didn't fall. It landed. Might jump. And the world should be thankful. You're welcome. But not welcomed as invited. Welcomed as witnessed. Like I said, I got paparazzi every year. And it is all eyes on me, but it's all eyes on you at the same time. If I am at the center, that means God is at the center. And I don't mean that in an egotistical way. If you understand, you understand. If you don't, we don't. You can ask questions when I'll put a Q&A maybe next time. You can ask questions and follow up. Because one thing I realize is that when purpose walks, eyes follow. And so, I am King David. But this is the round table. And I'm letting out of my mind. I don't know if I told you this, but I am King David. So welcome to King David. Welcome to David's house. The poet, the warrior, the flawed one, God still calls beloved. But I didn't stop. I went and made sure I got Jesus. And then I went and got some philosophy from Marcus. And then I got the revolution from Malcolm. And I brought everybody back by way of an eagle. And we sat in my chambers. And as we sit, friends around a fire, under one rulership, one kingdom, one spirit. I'll come to understand through philosophy, stillness, through a revolutionary eyes, understanding my blackness is priceless and you can't put price on divinity. But with divinity comes strategy. But before strategy, I gotta surrender to the saving. But through all things, I have a song and be cheerful. And know how to have a banter with myself. And in that, I understand that we are all one bone, one consciousness, one divine divine, embodied through many names. And as I rise and stand at the wall, we all rise. So I declare right here and right now, hey, this kingdom is awake. No more performance, no more delay, but just be light, be love, be truth, be whole, be the God that remembers he was never anything less. Because I'm about to come. Thank y'all for listening.
Keep your hand on the floor. Guide me into the rise. Make the broken whole. Hey, I'm feeling like a king. Oh, so divine. Cleaning out the cobwebs, left all the doubt behind. Best and pour out, sharing with the ones aligned. Breaking these chains, this ain't the life I had in mind. It's a must I elevate, transcend new language I design. Rewriting my narrative, leaving the old behind. I gotta move, gotta grow, gotta settle in these things I know. No more putting on a show. I'm one with me, no more dichotomy.